Hello everyone and welcome back to Global Speed. You know how Donald Trump loves his tariff letter, right? He's been sending them out to control left and right. Not exactly love letter, more like economic hand grenades, and most nations way overleaning. Europe, Canada, even countries we wouldn't expect like Iraq and Libya, it's a global headache. But what if I told you there's one country, a neighbor of India, to receive one of the very same letter and is celebrating? In fact, they're acting like it's the best news they have had in years. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating paradox why Myanmar is absolutely thrilled about a Trump tariff letter and what it means for global diplomacy. First, let's set the stage from Trump's recent private spree, saw him practically Norway's economy, often traditional allies, while currently leaving China, his biggest competitor, largely untouched. It's a classical Trump move, unpredictable, aggressive, and often illogical when you look at traditional trade balances. Now let's zoom in on Myanmar, our neighbor, nestled between India and China. For years, it's been a country with a complex past, and in 2021, the world watched as a military coup overthrew Aung San Suu Kyi's democratically elected government, bringing the military junta back to power. This was a monumental shift. How did the world react? While China predictably was quite happy, India had a pragmatic sense, maintaining relationship with for strategic reasons. But the Western world, especially the US and the European Union, were furious. They slapped heavy sanctions on Myanmar military, cut diplomatic ties, and refused to recognize this new regime as legitimate. So imagine this, where the senior general, Min Aung Hlaing, the head of this military junta that the US consider illegitimate, against whom they imposed countless sanctions, your country is isolated, and then letter arrive from the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Now, this wasn't an invitation to dinner. His letter informed Myanmar that the US would be slapping a whopping 40% tariff on its export. 40% for any other country is would be a disaster, a punch to the gut. But not for General Min Aung Hlaing. Oh no, he called it an honor, a diplomatic victory. He's actually showing it off to his people, has proved that the US has finally, officially recognized him as the legitimate leader of Myanmar. Think about that for a second. The very act of the US sending an official communication, even a negative one, is being spun as a massive win for a regime desperate for international legitimacy. It's like a child who's been grounded, finally getting a letter from their parents, even if it's telling them off, at least they are being acknowledged. This letter means that the US is now, albeit inadvertently, talking to the military chief as the de facto authority. This opens the door for formal negotiation for the commerce to meet and potentially to reduce the tariff. For a country that's been an international pariah, this is huge. It's a propaganda goldmine. The general is already using this to tell his people that his leadership is accepted globally, that he is a true patriot working for national prosperity. It's a masterclass in spin, telling a potential economic blow is a symbol of international acceptance. This move, however unintended by Trump, effectively undercut the democratic aspirations of many within Myanmar and validate the military grip on power. This incident also highlights broader pattern in Trump's foreign policy, its impracticability. One moment he's threatening 30% tariff on the EU, the next he's silent on China, his biggest trade rival. It often seems less about strategic trade and more about leverage or threat and miscalculation of diplomatic consequences. But it's this very unpredictability that allowed Myanmar to seize an opportunity that no one saw coming. Now let's pivot to a different approach. While many countries, including traditionally US allies, reacted with anger and retaliatory threat to Trump aggression, India chose a different path, patience. Instead of immediate retaliation, India maintained a calm, pragmatic approach, and it seems that patience is about to pay off in a big way. We're heading to Trump might cut tariff on Indian goods by 20%, making Indian export significantly more competitive in the US market compared to our rival like Vietnam or Indonesia. An Indian delegation is already in Washington working to iron out the remaining dispute, especially around agriculture and dairy. The goal, a historic India-US trade deal, for August 1st. This shows that sometimes, in the face of aggressive diplomacy, a steady non-confrontational approach can yield remarkable benefit. So, what are the big takeaway from this bizarre tale? First, that diplomacy is often about perception. What one country sees as a punitive measure, another can blatantly spin in the symbol of triumph. Myanmar's leadership has masterfully used this tariff letter to bolster its domestic image and seek international validation. Second, it underscores the unpredictable nature of US foreign policy under Donald Trump. His America-first approach often prioritizes immediate leverage over long-term alliances or traditional diplomatic norm. This can create chaos, but also, as in Myanmar's case, an unexpected opportunity for those savvy enough to seize them. And finally, India's experience offers a valuable lesson in strategic patience. Sometimes waiting out the storm rather than fighting it head-on can lead to a more favorable outcome. As we had, another election cycle and with the possibility of a second Trump term, understanding that dynamic become ever more crucial. Would we see more tariff letters that turn into love letters for an expected recipient? Only time will tell. So, what are your views on this fascinating diplomatic paradox? Do you think Myanmar's spin is justified, or is it a dangerous precedent? Let us know in the comment below. We love hearing your perspective. If you found this video insightful, please hit the like button, share it with your friend, and don't forget to subscribe to Global Ukraine for more deep dive to global affairs. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring the world with us. Goodbye and keep